Hydrogen is one of the most promising chemical and energy vectors to decarbonize our society. One alternative to generate green hydrogen, so-called green hydrogen, is to use green, renewable, clean electricity in a process called water electrolysis to break water into water fragments, OH and proton groups, and to generate hydrogen in this way.
So proton exchange membrane water electrolyzer is very efficient, but the consequences is the interface, the local pH is very acidic, and that is detrimental for the corrosion of the catalyst.
One of the only elements that is stable at these conditions, very acidic, very reactive conditions, is iridium oxide. Most of the iridium oxide in this planet comes from meteorites, so it's a very rare material. In this work, we demonstrate an alternative to iridium that can perform this reaction at very realistic industrial level conditions.
So we are always wondering that since water is the elephant in the room of the water splitting reaction, and how we can make a strategy of a catalyst which is stable in acidic, harsh acidic condition.
Instead of focusing on changing the structure or the composition of the material itself, we thought of how can we look into the whole problem, considering also the ingredients of the reaction, let's say water and water fragments. And what we devised was a material that, by incorporating water and water fragments into its structure, becomes stable in these very demanding conditions. You can picture this catalyst as a lasagna. Okay? So the way we devised this is we have the lasagna where we remove the meat. So some of the atoms of these materials we removed in a process called an ion exchange, and we replace this meat, in this case tungsten oxide atoms from the structure of the material, and this gets replaced by water and water fragments, resulting in a structure that has not been reported before.
Our main interest was to see how this water and hydroxide trap actually helping our oxygen evolution reaction. So when you are talking about the normal water, there are 3-4 kinds of water, so we are getting a broad peak. But if it is confined, then it has to be strongly hydrogen bonded with its neighboring atom, and we have actually detected this kind of single peak for the water, and from there we confirm this is confined water. Now our challenge was that how it is helping our overall performance. So for that we tried to see the interfacial water, and that was quite challenging. So we did this with silver, and we saw there is a change for our catalyst compared to our reference catalyst.
To see if this catalyst can work under such application conditions. So we did at 1 ampere per square centimeter for 600 hours. This is a huge enhancement compared with the state of the art.
We were successful in this project for many reasons. One of the most important reasons, I would say, is that we put together a very multidisciplinary team. So we have put together material scientists, chemists, engineers, and physicists that could put the pieces of the puzzle together to not only discover a new material, but understand the properties of the material and implement this material in a relevant reaction at the reactor level, industrial level conditions. We reached one of our close collaborators, Professor Nuria Lopez-Din Isaac, which were able to model the structures to predict the stability of these materials and to put some logic behind why this would be happening. We were also collaborating with Professor Jordi Arbiol and Alba Garzón from ICN2.
I think the best way to work with people from different background and also the focus is to communicate with each other from heart to heart, and also trust them 100%.
I actually always want to work on the renewable energy research, because it will help as a human community to to fight against the climate change.
Our population is increasing and we need more energy, more food. So not only interested in this green hydrogen, so I'm also interested in the fertilizer or some other organoelectrosynthesis which can be done in the green way.
This is the first experimental paper of our group that was recently formed in ICFO, so that's kind of a pushing energy boost. But first and foremost, we're excited because these, we believe, are important results for the community and for the world, and to push in the right direction to solve the climate crisis.